Hi everyone. In this particular video, I will talk about how this web-based calculus calculator is working. Basically, this application I build using Python programming. And you know that the objective of this calculator is to compute the derivative limit of the given particular of the function basically. So to build this web-based application, I'm using Flask API. And at the end, I'm deploying this application to the Heroku. Okay, so I can show you the working of this application. For an example, this is our front end. So from the front end, if you will click on limit, so here you can write your function, and then at what point you want to compute your limit, put here and then submit it. So based on that, see, you are getting the output. Okay, so you can come back to the home page. Now you can go with derivative. Uh, let's say derivative of this. So we are going to differentiate with respect to x. So if I'll click on compute, see, we are able to get the derivative. So you can compute it, okay, manually, so that you can say like whatever I'm giving the answer, that is correct or not basically. So in this particular lecture, I will explain you that how this website work internally. Okay, so let's start discussing about this thing. Just a minute, and then we'll start it. Okay, so what's happening? So whenever we develop any application, okay, so there will be one, like there will be first thing is like home URL. What do you mean by home URL? Like if someone will hit this address, so basically this is a like here we this is a calculus.herokuapp.com basically, but internally this will be address of any system, okay, any physical system. Okay, basically we have a IP address. So if I will hit, so what kind of page I will get basically? So okay, let's start from here. So like when user will hit this URL, what page I will get? So let me open my code. So this is a code. Okay, so this is a Flask based API. So I assume that you people understand the Flask basic. So what I'm doing here, so let me explain you line by line. So I'm importing Flask, and then some of the method, like I need render template method, request method, and then to compute the derivative or limit or any calculus thing, I'm using SumPy basically. So okay, now like when someone will hit the URL, for an example, it like what will be the home URL? Like if someone will hit like www.calculus.com, so what page it will navigate? So on the this URL, you'll get this page, actually index.html page. So this page is available in the template folder index. So here you can see, so this is basic HTML code. I'm not explaining what are these things. Okay, so let's come back to the app method. Okay, so okay, so then how I'm computing limit? Let me explain you like before explaining how I'm computing limit, let me explain you how the different URL is working. Okay, see here there is something called slash limit basically. Okay, so what do you mean by this thing? So if you go to the page, okay, so if I will type here, okay, if I will click here, sorry, if I'll write here limit, so it will navigate to some other page. So that page actually is what? That page is v1.html actually, this page actually. So if I'll hit this one, see, I'm getting different page. Let's go back basically. And now, so on this click, what I'm doing actually, I'm calling this API slash limit. Okay, so if I'm clicking here, see here, this path is changed. So this is happening because of this method. Okay, once I reach at this method, so sorry, at this page, so what we have? on this page we have two we are taking two input. One is like what function you are like, for which function you need limit. Other is for like at what point you want to compute the limit basically. Okay, so this thing we taking as an input. Okay, and then we will process this input and then we will return the result. Now let's come back to the code again. Okay, so now we add the limit. So this method call, so this page has been returned to the client as output, and now on that page what's happening basically, let me go back again. Okay, so once you will click here submit one, so what is going to happen, so like go to the v1 page because that is available on a v1 page, then you can understand. Like see, there is a one form. Okay, there is a one form. Okay, form tag. So here I'm taking two input basically. I'm taking function name and then at what point you want to compute the derivative, sorry, limit, and then I'm submitting it. So once when I'm submitting the input, okay, so basically it is calling this API limit/cal actually, and where it is limit cal. So app.route you can find out that is available here. So if someone will click on submit button, this method will call. Okay, so basically it is a post method. So if request dot method, so request is for form flask dot method equal to post, then what I'm doing actually, so I'm reading the input. So basically we have two boxes over there, na? One is function, another is a point. So what we are doing here, we are reading the function. So this is our function and this is a point. Okay, and now these two things we are passing to one function called compute limit. Okay, so this function we defined over here. Okay, uh, so this function is defined here basically. So what we are doing, it's very simple idea. So like we are passing two things to the compute limit. One is our function and other is point at which we are going to compute the limit actually. So like we know that in the SumPy, first we have to create the symbolic variable. Okay, and then basically we need to parse the string, like we are taking input from the user, no? So we have to parse the string so that we will create the SumPy function. Once we are ready with the function, this function will pass to the there is one method in SumPy called limit. I will pass here. Okay, and I will pass that at what point we are going to compute the limit basically. Okay, and what would be the symbol that also need to be passed as a parameter. So from here we will get the input. If there will be any error, I'm just returning none. Okay, so like this is the first class solution. Okay, we are not handling so much here. Okay, so hope you got my point. So once you will compute the result. Okay, let's come to this method. So you will store at limit, and basically what we're doing, we're evaluating also. So eval function will give you the exact answer, and then this result I am passing here with this HTML. So once this method will finish, so this method will return two things to the user. One will be the HTML page, and on this HTML page I am also sending some data, something called result. So that data I am printing on my HTML page. Okay, so let's go here. See here. See this result basically. So this is this annotation like we are taking from the API basically. So this is our HTML page. Okay, let's come to the point. Okay. Okay, let me run it so that you will better appreciate it. So if I will pass something here, okay. Okay, I just make it small so that will be easy. So if I will submit it, see, I'm getting this answer. So this is a result which we are getting from here basically. Now same thing we are doing with the derivative also. Okay, so if I will click derivative, so this, see, you can also observe the slash after the base URL. So see derivative. So here what is happening now, let me here. So on this derivative click, you are rendering this HTML page. Okay, that means this HTML page you are rendering. So on this HTML page, you can see we have different form. Okay, now like this. Now once one you will pass the input, so it will call this method, derivative cal method. Okay, so here if you come to the derivative cal method, how it's working, this method basically you're talking, and then it's doing the same thing, taking the input from the user and passing it, and then it's passing to the function called compute derivative. Again, I'm using the SumPy, okay, just to save time. Okay, see, so this is a derivative function which we have here. So doing the same thing basically, so taking your input, parsing it. Okay, so what is happening here, first it create the symbolic variable, and then it's parsing your input, and then it's computing the derivative of it with respect to which variable you want to compute it. So here you want to compute it with respect to x, that's the reason I am passing x here. So once you will get the result, you are returning it with the respective pages. So come to this point. Okay, so we are returning this HTML page along with the result. Okay, so this is very straightforward, nothing complex. Okay, so my assumption is that people know all how Flask work basically, so I'm just explaining. Okay, so now if I will do some complex thing. Okay, let me type here 2 into x power 2 uh, plus x, and I want to differentiation with respect to x. Okay, now you can check the result, it's correct or not. Okay, it's correct. Okay, so you can check it. So this is available at this URL, so you can also test at your site. Okay, okay, so if I hope this is very useful for you. Okay, okay, so code is not available at the GitHub. I will post it, so anyone can use the code directly, and they can customize this application as per the requirement. Okay, so what I'm planning in the future, like I will add integration and then other thing also. So basically currently what's happening, we are just getting answer. Okay, so our next target is, can we so step by step solution also. What do you mean by step by step solution? So if I have log of 2x, okay, so if I will say find the differentiation, so how we do on pen and paper, same thing we can also achieve on this using this application also. So this will print like this. So if I will pass the input this function, and I want to say like I want to differentiate with respect to x, it will give you the result like this. Okay, so in the future we will try to implement this thing also. So okay, so this can, like, this is different step. So step 0, step 1, so all the step will be print on the screen also. So like this will definitely help students, so they can verify their solution, or they can verify like they are going in right direction or not. Okay, and the best thing is like you can give any hardest problem here, it can solve a problem. Okay, so I hope this is very helpful for you. Thank you for the watching it. We'll meet soon, and then we will also add the step-by-step solution for the derivative. Bye bye. Take care.